In the depths of Europe's Middle Ages, the world was preparing to experience the deadliest tragedy in its entire history, called the Bubonic Plague, or Black Death. The pandemic swept through Europe like a merciless storm, killing around 50 million out of a population of 80 million people. This horrific plague impacted Europe the most, while leaving the distant lands of the Americas and Africa untouched. The Black Death evolved from the Yersinia pestis bacterium, which also caused the plague of Justinian almost 1,000 years before, all because of a seemingly harmless creature: fleas. Their bites carried the plague, spreading it through clothes. Nevertheless, the first identified cases didn't emerge in Central Europe, but rather in the distant east, specifically in Mongolia's Gobi Desert. With its high contagiousness, the disease quickly spread, profoundly impacting countries like China, Russia, and India within just a few years. We might think biological weapons are modern invention, but Janibeg's Tartar army shows otherwise. During the siege of Kaffa in Crimea in 1347, Janibeg decided to use the plague to his advantage by throwing plague-infested corpses into the town to infect his enemies. Fleeing the chaos, Genoese ships spread the disease to Mediterranean ports, reaching Sicily in 1347 and swiftly spreading across Europe. In just 2 years, it reached England, swiftly spreading to major cities like Bristol and London, then extending to Scotland, Scandinavia, and the Baltic countries. The plague devastated everything in its path, leaving behind only death and desolation, crashing the economy and leading to chaos. Seeking answers, the population blamed the Jewish community for poisoning wells, leading to violent attacks fueled by anti-Semitism. However, some argued that Jewish cleanliness and dietary laws boosted their survival rates. Another controversial cause of the outbreak was Pope Gregory IX's policy. In the 13th century, loyal followers of the Church and the Pope carried out a war on cats, believing they were vessels for Satan's spirit. This led to mass extermination of cats, contributing to the spread of the plague as rat populations boomed. People got scared, then triggered the widespread of witch hunts, targeting mainly women for alleged witchcraft. Cats themselves were again targeted, accused of being witches' helpers. Only after the Pope declared cats free from blame did the killing stop. Yet superstitions remained. During the pandemic, plague doctors emerged as specialized caregivers for the infected. Hired by villages, they helped people of all social statuses. When there weren't enough doctors, others from various professions stepped in, despite the high risk, leading to many deaths and desertions. Their duties included caring for the sick, disposing of corpses, conducting autopsies, and recording plague-related deaths. Nostradamus, the most famous plague doctor, advised actions like removing infected corpses, staying in fresh air, drinking clean water, consuming rose hip juice, and avoiding bloodletting. In the 17th and 18th centuries, plague doctors wore masks filled with aromatic substances like mint and cloves for protection. Using wooden canes, they examined patients without physical contact. Some thought the Black Death was a punishment from above, and even asked the doctors to whip them with their canes to make amends for their sins. In Europe, the Black Death felt like an apocalypse, killing up to 60% of the population and causing society to undergo significant changes. It marked the end of the Middle Ages and paved the way for the Renaissance, a period of rebirth and cultural revival. Discrimination and inhuman behaviors, all justified by political, medical, and religious views that eventually proved to be wrong. In light of recent events and behaviors linked to pandemics, it seems like history repeats itself endlessly. Maybe we should keep in mind that what seems like an undeniable truth today could prove to be completely false tomorrow.